U.S. calls China's conduct in South China Sea unlawful. China's Defense Minister Wei Feng says that China will safeguard its core interests in the disputed waterway, though. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin highlighted what he called China's unlawful behavior in the South China Sea, while his Chinese counterpart said Beijing was determined to safeguard its core interests at an ASEAN-hosted meeting on Wednesday. Defense officials from the 10-member Association of the Southeast Asian Nations met virtually with counterparts from 8 countries to discuss maritime security and other issues at the annual forum known as the ASEAN Defense Ministers Meeting ADMM+. In remarks to the gathering, Austin described the American vision for the Indo-Pacific region, underscoring the importance of allies and partners, shared principles, and multilateral approaches to security challenges, according to a statement issued by the Pentagon. He also highlighted unlawful PRC behavior in the South China Sea, the statement said. The annual gathering unfolded as an American aircraft carrier group conducted a routine mission in the South China Sea, the U.S. Navy said on Tuesday, and amid sharpening tensions over territorial competition in the strategic waterway. Meanwhile, at the northern end of the South China Sea, Taiwan complained on Tuesday that 28 Chinese Air Force planes had entered its air defense identification zone, in what Taipei said was the largest in a recent series of provocative military maneuvers near the island. China regards self-ruled Taiwan as a renegade province waiting to be reunited with the mainland. Taiwan says it is a self-governing democracy formally named the Republic of China. A statement issued in Beijing on Wednesday said Defense Minister General Wei Feng told the ADMM+ meeting that China understood and respected the legitimate security concerns of other countries. China's national interests must also be fully respected and safeguarded, it quoted him as saying. On issues related to Taiwan, Xinjiang, Hong Kong, and the South China Sea, China is determined to safeguard the country's core interests. In early June, Malaysia said that 16 Chinese military planes had flown in formation across its maritime airspace above South China Sea waters north of Borneo Island, and come close to violating its territorial airspace. China said the planes were carrying out routine flight activity. In April, Vietnam denounced China's unilateral imposition of an annual fishing ban in the South China Sea. Vietnam said the ban violated its sovereignty over the Paracel Islands, the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea (UNCLOS), and the Declaration of Conduct of Parties in the South China Sea agreed to in 2003. Elsewhere, Beijing and Manila have been involved in a standoff since March when the Philippines said it had detected more than 200 ships manned by Chinese maritime militia at Whitsun Reef, in the Philippines' exclusive economic zone EEZ. Beijing claims that the reef is part of its Nansha Islands, China's name for the Spratly Islands. Since then, China has maintained a presence in Philippine waters, prompting Manila to file multiple diplomatic protests with Beijing. At the meeting on Wednesday, some participants also raised concerns about China's new Coast Guard law, according to the Philippines. On the South China Sea, some plus countries expressed concern on the ambiguous application of the Chinese Coast Guard Law (CGL) while stressing the importance of freedom of navigation and overflight and the early conclusion of a substantive code of conduct, the Philippine Department of National Defense said in a statement. Plus countries refer to non-ASEAN summit participants, which are Australia, China, India, Japan, New Zealand, South Korea, Russia, and the United States. The law, adopted in late January, states that China's Coast Guard and other maritime law enforcement agencies may use small arms, such as rifles, or shipborne weapons such as deck-mounted guns, when handling foreign ships infringing upon waters that China claims as its own. Japanese Defense Minister Nobuo Kishi urged all parties to make efforts to resolve maritime disputes peacefully and abide by international law, according to a statement released by his ministry. He pointed out that there are continued attempts to change the status quo by coercion in the East China Sea and the South China Sea, the statement said, in an apparent reference to China. Kishi, the statement said, underscored that the China's Coast Guard law should never undermine the legitimate interests of relevant countries. China and Japan have a long-running territorial dispute over the Senkaku Islands, which China calls the Diaoyudan. The uninhabited islets sit in the deep south of the East China Sea and are a recurring flashpoint between the two countries.